So to calculate the magnitude of a vector, that means we're calculating the length of it. And to do this, we are going to fall back on good old Pythagoras. So if we remember correctly, Pythagoras is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And if this wasn't a vector, and this was just a line, there's a trick we can do wherein we turn our line into a right angle triangle, and that allows us to use Pythagoras. But you've got to know the length of the sides. Well, remember 3, that's how much x changes by, and the number below 4, that's how much y changes by. So we're able to see that actually these two sides are length 3 and length 4. And if we were doing Pythagoras, our long side is C, A and B can be either way around. So we'd substitute in, we'd square them, we'd add them, and then we've got c squared, but we don't want c squared, we want c by itself. So we'd square root the 25 and we'd be left with just 5. The only thing that is different when we're doing this for vectors is that we have to use slightly different notation, because remember we are using u's, x's and y's. So I'm going to sneakily get away these letters. And we're going to use our new notation. So remember, we are using x because that's what x changes by, and y because that's what y changes by. We don't use a letter like C. We are using U underlined because that is the vector. But how do we make sure that we know it's not actually a vector? We're calculating magnitude. We put 2 lines on either side. Okay, so those 2 lines, either side of the U vector, tell us we are looking for magnitude. So it's squared, the same as the C, but instead of A, we have X, and instead of B, we have Y. But from there, we substitute, we square, we add, and we don't want it squared. We want to find out just the magnitude of U by itself. So we square root. Okay? And that is the method for finding the length of a vector. It just involves ever so slightly different notation. You just need to know x, your x value is the number on the top, your y value is the number on the bottom. So let's look at another example quickly. So if we had t equals, t underlined, equals 6 and 8, well, to find the magnitude, we are going to do t underscore in magnitude squared equals 6 squared plus 8 squared. Because remember, that's x squared plus y squared. Should have written that in first. 6 squared, 36. 8 squared, 64. Add them together. But wait a minute. We've got the magnitude squared. We just want the magnitude. So to get rid of that 2, we have to square root both sides. And the square root of 100 is 10. And that is you done. I need to see every line of that working, okay? Because at this stage, it's important you get into the habit of doing it in order. But as you can see, if you can do Pythagoras, you can do finding the magnitude of a vector.